It's home. It feels like home. It welcomes you home.
It's that quintessential 1930s Spanish home. Right when you walk in, there's a certain level of romance. The stenciling that's on the wood beams, the original tile floor, oak flooring.
You know, people try to recreate it all throughout the county, but this is where it started. Lots of homes that are even multi-generational. The next thing you know, you find out your friend is living in the home they grew up in. And you know, what used to be Ron Kiefer's, where my brother, sister, and I would go get sandwiches, is now Espresso Mio. So it's also come into its own in the sense that we now have, which is funny to us, clients requesting to live close to downtown Mission Hills. I mean, that didn't exist when we were growing up. So it's fun now in an era which is very much all about walkability, to have a neighborhood which is very walkable. I mean, it's hard not to walk anywhere, and literally everybody knows your name. It's that kind of community, and that's what makes it special.
Sometimes students here will have some of the same teachers for 7 or 8 years. It's the same for a lot of our parents. It's kind of that elementary school you walk to, everybody knew everybody.
I grew up going to Francis Parker School. My son was just accepted there. It is sort of the bedrock of the neighborhood. It's a very special place.
So when I stand at the gate in the morning, I know all those people coming in, and they know me. That's what people look for who move, when they move into this neighborhood and they see a school like Francis Parker that reminds them so much of experiences they had as children. It's a true college prep school that's independent, meaning if we decide at any given time that we want to change our curriculum, change the way we're doing things, we can. The parents, you know, they have built this trust in us so we can take risks in our curriculum, and they let us do it. A lot of the kids that I taught in the early 80s and up through the late 80s are now bringing their kids here. There is something special about Mission Hills, and it's retained that specialness over time. For me, it's been enormously valuable and fulfilling.
their daily routine starts usually with a cup of coffee. And you get into that shop and you might see the same person that's on your exact same routine. Before you meet with a friend, before you take your first phone call, before you send off any kind of work-related email, and I think that's why they want to support it, because they know it, it's familiar.
For years, it was kind of this little pocket, nothing really kind of just new and fresh. Like all these places started to pop up, and we were kind of like in lockstep with those places. And what we decided to do was kind of do things. It's like buy locals for locals. We're bringing stuff from Little Italy, North Park, stuff in Normal Heights. So we're bringing in roasteries from different areas. We're bringing teas that are from San Diego. Just this one shop, we're supporting 10 different local businesses by having this shop, whether it's restaurant supply, cup suppliers, coffee suppliers. So everything's local and everything's fresh. Like we know when it was roasted, who roasted it, and the date it was roasted, the farm that coffee came from. You kind of get this little pocket of just new and fresh stuff, and it's not oversaturated like other neighborhoods, so people kind of really like the vibe that's going on here.
It's a sustainable community. It has everything that you need right here, and there's really no need to go elsewhere unless you have to fly somewhere or go to the beach, and I think that's what people are looking for.
When we moved here, which is 35 years ago, there were no restaurants to speak of. Some have been here for 10, 15 years now, and more are coming. I think some of it is just the culture. Our food is interesting to people now.
We had watched a show, it was Martha Stewart went through Brooklyn, and she was visiting different boroughs, and Williamsburg was just starting then. That was the whole evolution. And I said to my husband, we had Trattoria Aqua in La Jolla, I said that if we ever open another restaurant, I'm going to call it Brooklyn Girl. And we wanted it to feel like one of the boroughs from Brooklyn.
So at the end of the week, have a bite, grab a drink, and catch up with a neighbor. A restaurant like that, it gives everybody an opportunity to kind of catch up and see what everyone's up to in their life.
We've always been organic since day one. Michael's done that at all his restaurants. But I wanted to have the freedom and a very eclectic menu that would deal with all the different nationalities and all the different boroughs of Brooklyn. I want it to be seasonal. I want to be able to change out the menu more. The regulars want to see us. It's personal to us. We want to make sure that we want you to feel like you're at our home. This is a neighborhood restaurant. That was one of the reasons we chose it. It's like going back to Norman Rockwell times. You see dogs going by and the people going by and the parents pulling the children in the wagons, and it's just like another time, another space.
I finally have friends really coming in from outside of Mission Hills to come to a restaurant, and that's obviously hasn't been the case for my entire lifetime. People finally have an excuse, especially foodies, they finally have an excuse to come into the neighborhood and explore.
I mean, we're very passionate about it, and we want to make sure that it runs the way we want, but we like seeing the people. I mean, it's like having 100 people to our house all the time. We feel like we have our friends.
When you're in this home, you feel like you're a part of history, and then you get to create your own history with your own family or your own significant other, and be in the heart of a neighborhood, which is where San Diego began, and I think that's special to a lot of people.
You have perfect location, you're right in the heart of Mission Hills, you're removed off the street, you're on over an acre of land, You have an amazing view of ocean, if you can believe that, and it's historic.
It's such a small neighborhood with such a unique identity that when you live here, you feel you belong.